Movie night, movie night. Everybody loves movie nights. Ugh. Clerks night, Clerks night. Everybody loves Clerks night. I'm not the only one fucking watching this movie tonight. Movie night, movie night. Everybody loves movie night. Everybody loves movie night. Movie night.
Sorry,
night.
excuse me.
Oh,
excuse me.
Man, I'm trying to watch this movie, not your butt.
late. Down in front. Down in front. Movie night.
Hey, since you got the mode, can you turn it up?
Oh, yeah. Got you.
I'm not sitting.
Movie night. Movie night.
You know, if TV wants to work.
Everybody loves movie night. Hey, I got a question.
Mm-hmm.
Does Kevin Smith suck? Kevin Smith doesn't suck.
That's what you come back with.
Yeah, I mean,
I think it works. He doesn't suck.
He doesn't suck.
He's got his moments.
Like, he's got how many movies?
He's got his moments, but at the same time, it's like, I see the charm.
Yeah, you guys have the charm. I just don't think he.
Not from this. I don't see the charm.
Yeah.
No, that's true.
Look, I get Clerks is in the annals of history, and it's we gotta study it. I don't think it's that great of a movie, personally. Like, if I had to give it a rating, I don't know, like 2 Red Sox out of 5.
They say so much, but they never tell you if it's any good.
But remember, first movie, very minimal budget.
No, I know. Like I said, we give him leniency.
Yeah.
I've said it a couple times now. We give him leniency because it's his first movie. But I don't think it's his best. I think it's far from his best.
No, but
Ooh,
okay.
I'll fight you on that one because what we just watched, I think when it really you like break it all the way down, it's why he got famous. I can understand why those people at Sundance they're looking for something that's very artsy. They're looking for something that's very different.
We discussed that,
and it's like okay, they saw it. They thought that was.
They thought it was going to be art couture.
And this is what we're talking about when it comes to Kevin Smith. How do you go from being somebody who presents something like Clerks as your first movie, which, I mean, has been broken down and presented in front of the film students. You know, every film school in the world probably has a course on Clerks. This is how you do a very small budget movie. This is dot of this and dot of that, right?
I don't think they would call it the Kevin Smith method, but probably they're like, here's how you maximize your budget.
Yeah.
Maybe. Or is it they only teach it because he's the... I can't say Edison, that doesn't work. He's not even the... Okay, look.
Wait, no, he's kind of the Edison of Indian filmmaking. Because think about it, he took the idea of a guy he really admired, Richard Linklater, was the direct inspiration for this. So you have that.
August 2nd, 1991, that's when I go see Slacker on my 21st birthday. I'd never imagined before seeing that movie myself as a storyteller, let alone a filmmaker. But he held a mirror up to a world that I knew, even though it was a world away. Richard Linklater made it seem possible.
And then he makes his version of a Richard Linklater movie, gets super famous on it, and then doesn't make another movie.
I don't think it's super famous. I think he launches his career as a director. I think it shows enough of his chops as a director and writer to be like, this guy can make it in Hollywood. It's the Always Sunny concept, but from the 90s instead of the 2000s.
Correct answer!
It's the whole, like, we put the effort into it and somebody liked it enough that they picked me up and ran with me. I think he proves himself as a filmmaker later on.
Okay, I think that's a fair statement there. I mean, it really does go back to this is his first movie, but he already has some natural chops for what he's doing, especially with some of these shots that he does. Like, for the first half, most of the movie, it's just standalone shots. There's not a whole lot of camera action, but he waits for the right moments to kind of bring out, like, here's where the real, like, all the stuff that has led up to this moment is all coming to an earthquake. It's coming to a head. It's,
Well? Something like 36?
What? Something like 36?
Lower your voice.
Wait, what is that anyway? Something like 36. Does that include me?
37.
I'm 37?
Going to class.
Oh my god. 37. My girlfriend sucked 37.
It's a slow burn.
yeah, it's a very slow burn, and he's telling the story about, and I'm sorry, a very boring guy.
Yeah.
No, the whole. So
Run of the mill dude. But
yes,
Yeah, this dude's so boring.
Napoleon Dynamite.
He's boring as hell, but he's funny. But there's a difference. I mean, I get that.
Napoleon
I
Dynamite.
get
It's
that.
Napoleon Dynamite. This is a if you. I think there's a direct line as well, and I haven't really heard the director Napoleon Dynamite talk about that. But there's a direct visual line from Clerks to Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah.
The very static shots, the very mundane type of vibe. Everything's understated. Everything's understated. And the comedy's understated. Everything's basically if what you're supposed to do a lot of times when it comes to theater, what they teach you, you're supposed to perform to the back of the room. Clerks is performing to the front of the room.
Yes. 100%.
Yeah.
The whole way through. So it's
an
Napoleon
off-Broadway
Dynamite.
play.
It's an all-Broadway play, and I think that is
Above the
where
bowling alley and below another bowling.
that's where you get.
The Simpsons joke. Sorry.
Wait, bro, Chris.
That's where you like the Simpsons. That's where you get the beauty of this movie. And as we will watch more Kevin Smith movies and
And other things.
and we'll watch other things, and we'll start to discover that he necessarily, I don't think, believed in this version of what a movie should be.
No, I think I think he did what he could with his budget. And it's like, I'm still gonna make this movie anyways, and all you that say this is a bad idea, go fuck yourselves.
That's kind of what he did.
He did. It's just.
Spitting?
He's spitting.
Oh, spitting at them. Is that the sign?
That's a sign.
Spit! Spit!
Hey, you!
Oh, what is wrong with you?
Yeah.
What are you thinking about?
No. I'm in agreement. I can't say anything else. Honestly, I think the man did what we see in the younger generation constantly now, where it's like the whole don't have regrets, just do it. I think it was that. I think he got that memo in his young age and said, cool, I'm just going to do it, and if it fails, oh well. And I think he hit it big.
Okay, so this is where I think the idea of indie darling into industry comes in. Because let's say you're Kevin Smith, as the history will show you, Kevin Smith wasn't a film student esquire. He wasn't like this prolific filmmaker that was like, oh my gosh, I'm an amazing auteur, and I need to make sure my vision is put on screen.
Yeah.
He liked movies, and he discovered he could make movies cheap. So that's not him. We're not trying to judge him off of this great filmmaker thing, right?
Yeah.
So as us as creatives, if we ever got the chance to do what Kevin Smith does now, which is basically be a
Podcaster?
yes, because he goes from
He's so much more than that though. But go ahead.
he goes from
That's
being
a bad joke.
like this indie filmmaker to now whenever you think of nerd culture, one of the top 3 names in nerd culture, which is now a prominent culture in pop culture in general, is Kevin Smith. I would kill to have that.
I'd give you stoner culture first.
Ooh, I don't know, man. I
think it's stoner culture then nerd culture.
Okay. Explain why stoner culture first, because there's the comic book nerds
Podcast we do called Tell 'em Steve Dave. My friends do it in the comic book store in Jersey. You know, you watch some of those shows and there's always somebody looking at a camera telling you, like, I was so mad at this person, like doing that confessional stuff. When we were kids, talking about dream jobs, comics was like, oh my God, could you imagine running a comic book store?
comic book nerds guy doesn't specifically speak stoner to me.
It's because I think Jay and Silent Bob as the characters became the recognizing factor, which is very purely stoner culture.
Okay.
Then from there, I think Kevin Smith got opportunities to do superhero shows and whatnot, and be involved in superheroes. I don't think it's his overarching, like, this is what he does. I think comedy is his go-to thing. I think it's the stoner culture, Jay and Silent Bob.
Well, honestly, I kind of think it's making fun of it, but also being like, hey, we still embrace you, because y'all aren't terrible people, y'all are just dumbasses.
Yeah, they're characters.
Yeah.
They made them to be that, and then somehow they just got so lovable that it was like, you guys get your own movie. What? And then I think, 20 years later was it or something?
Whatever reboot, but
Yeah,
it was more of a fan pick.
Well, no, because even Jay and Silent Bob
it's a
Strike
satire.
Back. If you think of Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, which I haven't seen a lot of,
it's a
but
satire.
there's so much nerd culture in that.
There
movie.
is. There's Star Wars references.
Stars and also I think also.
Star Wars.
So
there's a conversation about the Death Star.
So that's what I'm saying. That's why I think that Kevin Smith, when we break things down, if we're gonna put people in their places and whatever, I think you have Seth Rogen. If you have a swing towards what is he more, stoner or nerd, boom, you have Seth Rogen here on this end of the spectrum. Stoner nerd.
Okay, but
and then if you're gonna swing more, I think middle nerd more, I think you get Kevin Smith because Chasing Amy and Mallrats, are those stoner movies or are those nerd movies?
They're neither.
They're neither.
They're neither.
Okay.
No, Mallrats is a nerd movie.
Okay.
It's a comic book.
Okay. Fair
But
point.
Chasing Amy is not.
Yo, yeah, Chasing Amy's completely different, and
I will.
Yeah.
I'm gonna summarize what you just said with this.
No, Chasing Amy absolutely is a fucking nerd movie.
If you're a hockey nerd.
No, that's the one, the comic book. They write the goddamn comic book.
Character, hero or villain, was introduced usually by white artists and writers. They got slapped with racist names that singled them out as Negroes. Now, my book, White Hating Coon, don't have none of that bullshit.
But it's the backdrop of the movie.
It doesn't matter.
It is, but so it's hockey and a comic book.
No, I don't even.
No, it's a dramatic love story.
Yeah, but
it's about rejection.
You're gonna see when you get there. It's Shakespearean.
It's about rejection.
Yeah, it's Shakespearean.
And having to accept the
Shakespearean.
fact that you were rejected by somebody.
It's Shakespearean.
What do I sign it to? Nothing will do to you. This drink, sir. Trace of chocolate around your dead fucking body, you.
I'm telling you.
Okay.
No, okay, sorry. Hold on.
But you're not wrong. No, seriously, you're not wrong.
You're
It is
not wrong.
Shakespearean.
It is written like a Shakespeare book.
Yeah.
It might be based off. I don't even know. But
That's
I was
up to
gonna
Kevin
say
Smith.
this.
We don't know.
You were talking about Seth Rogen and Kevin Smith. I think Kevin Smith walked so Seth Rogen could run.
Help me! Please help me! Get away from me! I'm scared of this darkness! I surrender!
Go away, go away!
I'm ghost! Ah! This isn't funny anymore!
Dale!
Fall back!
Save me!
Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. There's no way that Seth Rogen and Judd Apatow and those cats have any career unless Kevin Smith succeeds. He doesn't have
Apatow's a different discussion.
there. You can't escape.
I think Adam Sandler walks so Apatow could run.
Weird. Yeah, man, that's a
They
totally
worked together for a long time.
So, okay, this is a good discussion about the type of comedy we're facing right now with just watching Clerks.
Okay.
Dealing with Kevin Smith, dealing with the people we're talking about. What is the combining factor with those things? Because they're all on the same tree. They're not the same comedy, but they're the same comedy tree.
Yeah.
It's not Mel Brooks.
Schwarzes. No, seid nicht mehr Sugar. Laws im Game!
Yeah.
It's not super blue comedy like the Porkies and stuff like that.
Way to find that boy. Now that penis had a mole on it. I'd recognize that penis anywhere.
There's like this other branch.
Well, it's more dry, but it's more about like you've experienced this, but the moments you watch with him is like I would never want to experience that, but viewing somebody else go through it, maybe I might find some humor in it.
You looking at that couple inside?
Actually, I was just looking at this little pink number over here.
Oh yeah, that's kind of nice. They look happy, don't they?
What, the bras?
No, the couple. They look happy.
I guess, as far as couples go.
You know, it reminds me of an issue of Spider-Man I did when Peter Parker and Gwen Stacy went lingerie shopping. Of course, the Green Goblin showed up, and he pumpkin bombed the hell out of the place. But aside from that, it's pretty much the same thing.
Oh my God. Holy shit! Aren't you?
Oh, Stanley. Hi.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so what would we compare that to? Because it's not Adam Sandler. Adam Sandler's more blue.
Don't you say that. Don't you ever say that.
Adam Sandler is more the old school kind of 80s comedy, but in a 90s slant.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And then Seth Rogen is 2000s, definitely more of this. Are we?
Yeah. Well, he's got the idiot fart joke.
Yeah. So Rogen took stoner comedy to, how do I put this?
Okay, let's put it on a scale of
You had Jay and Silent
One
Bob.
with Rogan. One with Rogan.
Hear me out. Here, you had Jay and Silent Bob. You had Cheech and Chong.
So I had to follow him around the little baggie for 3 days before I got it back. Really blew the dog's mind. You mean we're smoking dog shit, man? You get your eye, I know.
You had How High.
Got blunt. Got weed.
okay.
Then all of a sudden, you get Seth Rogen doing white boy stoner flicks.
And in every movie has a stoner in it. It's not a stoner movie.
Well,
it's every movie has a stoner
John
in it.
Hughes flicks had stoners in them.
Yeah, but do you ever think about the stoners in them?
No, but think about
Long
John
Duck
Hughes
Dong.
flicks.
I mean, come on, that kid was totally a stoner.
Canine cologne.
Oh, no more Yankee, my wanky. The donga need food.
Okay, you're right with that because every other stoner flick basically has
Minorities thanks to the war on drugs.
which is a bunch of bullshit. And then you finally get the guy that comes out and is like, no, the white fucking people.
Yeah.
Smoke
Yeah.
Well,
Kevin
there's
Smith.
something different.
Same thing.
Kevin Smith makes 2 stoner characters, his other stoner characters, but then like I said, Seth Rogen revolutionizes stoner flicks.
We are a year away from Friday, though. 94, Clerks.
Minority Stoner.
95 is Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Do you see the parallels in those?
Hey, I know you don't smoke weed. I know this. But I'm gonna get you high today. Cause it's Friday, you ain't got no job, and you ain't got shit to do.
I kind of. It's this.
It's another movie.
It's the stoner flick. Like
everyday
it's its own
life
genre.
movie.
Mm-hmm. Slice of life, right?
Yes, yeah, slice of life movie.
And I think we're all in agreement, basically, that Kevin Smith worked better in the slice of life than he did making. And I love Dogma, but after Dogma, there's definitely a drop off of quality in what he's making. If you ever,
I'm gonna say we will find out when we get there. Why is he sleeping in the closet?
I was about to ask the same question. Like, how did he fall asleep in the closet?
So, basic character intro. That's freaking great.
Yeah, I guess it's a classic, like, this guy's not living up to his full potential intro, right? Like, the whole, he parties and drinks and he wakes up in the closet instead of on his bed.
Mm-hmm.
And then he gets called into work hungover to work a double.
Been there.
You've been there too.
I try not to. I try to avoid that with all my might, being called in on a double or any type of thing. Just to think about, like, this is Kevin Smith's first movie. When was the first time that you guys saw a Kevin Smith movie?
Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back when it came out in theaters.
That was your first one?
Yeah, the first one.
So the first time I ever saw a Kevin Smith movie was Clerks 2. I was on a band trip in Florida, 10th grade, and I was at, during, after something, like before we got to where we were going to go play our, band concert or whatever.
Jackson Hole, Florida.
No, it was Orlando. We ended up going to Universal and also going to Disney World during this trip. But whenever we first got there, we went to a mall, and then there was a kiosk, and somebody was like, dude, Kevin Smith, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah,
Clerks 2.
Mm-hmm.
And it was on sale for like $8.
Okay.
Wow.
And I was like,
so you were 17.
Yeah.
Okay.
No. I was 10th grade. I was 16.
Okay.
Yeah, but
Chris, what about you?
I will probably say it was around the same age, maybe a little bit younger, but it was Dogma.
Okay.
Because of either HBO or Comedy Central. It was one of those two.
It's probably Comedy Central. But no, that sounds like at that time, whenever you were 17,
It could have been either.
Yeah, it could have been either.
But, so the thing about this, like, none of us were old enough.
The icons have appeared.
To appreciate Clerks when it came out.
No, we didn't understand it.
And none of us saw.
The first time.
None of us saw Clerks like early on.
Well, I saw it at 13.
Okay.
So after you seen Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, I went down the rabbit hole back when Netflix mailed you DVDs, kids. They mailed you DVDs. And so I went down the Kevin Smith rabbit hole and said, okay, I want to watch these in order because I didn't understand any of the characters in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. Please leave money on the counter, take change when I will be honest.
Be honest, yeah. I mean, I'm sorry, but is that a way to run a business?
So I will give you guys this little insight to someone who has actually been in a close situation to Dante. Not exactly. I was a smoke shop worker, and it is a lot like a convenience store worker when it comes to like this kind of downtime where it's him. And this is also why whenever I first watched Clerks, I really enjoyed this movie, is because you get these moments, these actual character moments, which you don't get in a lot of big budget movies because everything moves so fast. Like, this scene we've been watching the scene of Dante and his girl painting nails for 45 seconds to a minute. In every other movie, this scene would be done. Done, move on.
This today. Now we just cut it out because it's not action enough.
Yeah, Yeah, as you said, there's not enough action, but this is where you have character development, which I think he actually shows here pretty well, because once they get into their fight later on in the movie, if you don't have this scene, you kind of don't understand the reference, and then also especially whenever I know I'm skipping way ahead in the movie. But
Spoilers for a 30-year-old movie now. 30-year-old movie. Spoilers.
But the lasagna thing, come on. You have a good woman if she'll bring you a lasagna to work.
Okay, so this is where Kevin Smith could not have done this.
Today or
ever. Kevin Smith's not a good actor.
Yeah, his acting skills could not have pulled that off.
Kevin Smith's not a good actor. He cannot. He's really good at Silent Bob, where he doesn't have to do any lines except for one line a movie, basically, right?
And then he most of his stuff, whenever he's funny on screen, is him doing actiony stuff.
Yeah,
his actions are really funny. And then he gets his one or two lines in every movie, and that's about it.
I'm 37.
37 dicks. He could not have delivered "I'm 37" with as much conviction.
My girlfriend sucks
37 dicks, yeah, with as much conviction and as much meaning in that. It would just been comical.
No, but you sucked enough dick.
Before he even enters the screen, what do we think about Randall as a character just in general?
You just kind of have to assume, based on after the first chapter, that this guy's probably just going to be a dick. And Dante probably doesn't really like him, even though they're probably best friends because they're stuck in the same place all the time.
Dorney?
I don't know. I know what he is.
Right.
Looking back on that.
Yes.
And then you also have the false thing here of, is this guy Randall?
Yeah. Right now.
But he's not. And then the reveal later is whenever Randall walks in, it's like, this is Randall. And then he just is absurd.
So I'm pretty sure that Randall makes the movie.
Just tell him the title of the movie. I'm sure he'll hold it for you.
Yes, I can agree with you on that.
I don't think that this movie.
Well, Dante's a straight man.
He is a straight man, but so here's the thing about straight men, and we'll talk about this more in discussion. But even with straight men, you have to have a good actor to be a straight man.
Yeah.
But if you're not nailing that side character after straight man, it's not even worth making a movie on this. And Randall is the perfect foil for an excellent straight man.
Yeah.
You guys know why the titles are there, right?
No.
I do not know why.
See, this is why I'm a trivia guy. This movie is slightly, slowly based off of Dante's Inferno. So all the labels are the circles of hell.
Really?
From Dante's Inferno, yes.
I did not know that.
So Kevin Smith developed the script, and then as they started developing it more, that became the actual thing of it. Okay, every label is basically like another level of hell. And the original ending, as anyone who's been on the internet knows, the original ending of this movie is Dante gets shot.
Yeah.
But
you told me that. I did not know that.
Oh, you didn't? Oh, yeah.
No, you told me years ago.
Yeah.
But I did not know that was the original ending.
That was the original Sundance ending, I believe. I think it was Sundance. Yeah. That's the way it's kind of framed. It's the levels of hell from Dante's Inferno.
Huh.
That's why his name is Dante.
Right, because he goes through hell. But again, that also
cheap, unoriginal bastard, just ripping off great literature from Italian classics. Yeah, right. You ever tried to read that book?
Dante's Inferno? No, yeah.
I've never tried to read it. I just know, this dude goes through hell.
It's confusing.
I'm sure it is. When was it written? 1800s?
Yeah. Even earlier than that. 16, 17, maybe even 15s.
Oh, this scene right here. She's trying to find a child's film. And this is, again, just another way for Randall just to be like, I don't give a damn about my child.
Trivia time with the voice in the sky.
Does the voice from above have any Kevin Smith trivia for us?
I don't know. Does she?
That's a good question. I feel like you were scared in yours.
I was like,
yeah.
The first time I've heard the most angelic voice in the world.
You're the true believer. That's why you did. We were like,
but I just heard it. It was there.
Yeah.
It was there.
I feel like you hear it all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but sometimes I ignore it.
He's more used.
But, you know.
That's staying in.
All right, and how many nights did they shoot this movie in at the store?
I'm gonna guess 20.
25.
Thorny knows the answer. And look at it.
I feel like I do, but I don't. I'm gonna say 23 nights.
All of y'all are wrong. 21.
Ooh. Oh wow! I didn't think I was pretending not to know the answer. I thought I was actually getting it right, so I'm dumb.
Price of triangles?
30, right? No, he went over, so you got it. All right, well, got it.
I'm
All
not
right.
worried about winning.